Hold on just a minute. I know I'm live. I want to look up a story I forgot about Friday that I wanted to talk about. Came out Friday. Got Oklahoma. Now, oh, wait a minute. How come I have no internet? Hold on a second. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. Follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News, at FYNTV.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Stop doing your research.
Okay, I hate to miss a good story where the governor's got the LGBTQ community all messed up. Okay? Now, in the state of Georgia, before we get to FYN page 12, that's who you are now. No, you're page 12.
Well, then it would be 13 because I'm also on the 13th floor.
No, FYN page 12 because you're twice as good.
Aw, thanks.
Don't get all like that or anything. It's not like that. All right, anyhow. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law that LGBT groups call discriminatory. Now, here's an interesting thing with Georgia. Georgia's supposed to be a red state. Supposed to be. Supposed to be Republican. Republican red state. That's what they tell me. Every time it comes up that Georgia's a purple state, Republicans get all bent out of shape. No, it's not. Every time there's discussion that Democrats could win in Georgia, the Republicans of Georgia get all bent out of shape. Talk to your local Republican friend. I would tell you this. Hell, I was hoping to get through Monday without getting in trouble. But Republicans in the state of Georgia have their head buried in the sand as deep as they can get it. I mean, seriously. I mean, you know the old picture of you go to the beach and you get buried in the sand and your head sticking out? Well, it's the direct opposite for the Republicans in Georgia. Their only thing sticking out is their feet. They've got everything else buried in the sand when it comes to some things. So here are two bills. Now, last week we talked about the heartbeat bill, okay, which the governor of Mississippi has signed. The governor of Iowa has signed the heartbeat bill. But you can't get the heartbeat bill signed in place in Georgia. You can't get it, all right? But the heartbeat bill is starting to move along. Now, in this campaign season, you are getting the opportunity to hear these candidates talk about how they reformed adoptions, okay? And the first major reform in adoptions in the states in 30 years. I mean, they're running articles. Now, all due respect, David Schaefer is running for lieutenant governor, right? Which I like Mr. Schaefer. And Mr. Schaefer is running a commercial because David Schaefer was adopted as a child. And he is talking about how proud he is of Georgia's new adoption law. The governor signed the new adoption law. But remember, we heard that the adoptions and the adoptions and also foster care, it just wasn't germane to put the protection. There was nowhere in the room for adoptions to have protection in Georgia for religious groups that have beliefs other than those of the LGBT community. There was no room for protecting them. So as you're going to your mailbox, okay, and you're pulling out your postcards that are this big that say, vote for me. I'm the true conservative. No, me. I'm the conservative you can count on. No, me. I'm the conservative with the most conservative record. No, me. I'm conservative. Why I'm so conservative? Our 3 dogs are named Conservative 1, 2, and 3. No, I am. Are you sick of that? I am so damn sick of that, pulling this garbage out of the mailbox. I am the conservative you can count on. Now, you know, here's the one I like. It's because I've been wanting to know what it sounded like. I'm your conservative voice. What the hell? In most places, if you're hearing voices, they consider you to be damn crazy. All right? You know, that's the one to pull up. I'm your conservative. I will be your conservative voice in Atlanta. Like, what the hell? True, most, voice. You got it. We got it. Go conservative. Let's see. I just got an email. How did he start? I'm not knocking this candidate. I promise I'm not knocking this candidate, okay? I'm not knocking this candidate. Where the hell is it? The opening of this campaign email I got. The leading conservative Republican. He's the leading conservative. All right, anyhow. So as they're all rolling around the state telling you, I believe in religious liberty. May God help this country. May God save the state of Georgia. May God bless the great state of Georgia. I believe in religious liberty. Why, if I'm voted, I'm the most pro-life. I've got a card. They sent me some damn card in the mail, said that I am the most pro-life candidate. If elected, I believe in religious liberty, because we were just talking in Sunday school how important it was to protect our religious freedoms. Ain't a damn one of them did a damn thing. You have a state that you've had a RIFA bill laid out there that either the governor would not sign, they pulled it off the floor, it did not meet the standards, it discriminated. There was a bill that Kevin Tanner put up called the Pastor Protection Bill. Where the hell did that go? Where the hell did the Pastor Protection Bill go? In Georgia, the red state, they're all running around praying with you, conservative with you, loving you, singing God Bless the USA and Lee Greenwood songs. But no, what is the last real piece of conservative legislation that the governor that is going out had a set enough to do and sign? Wait a minute, there was somewhere I was going with that. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law that LGBT groups called discriminatory. Well, I guess what? Maybe Oklahoma's not waiting to hear about HQ2, Amazon. Maybe Oklahoma's not waiting to see which major corporations we have to kiss their ass before we could see what we could do legislatively for the religious-minded people of the state of Georgia. Maybe Oklahoma is not sitting there waiting on go. Governor Mary Fallon, shown at the National Press Club there, Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallon on Friday signed a law that says no child placement agency will be required to put children up for adoption or in foster care. Remember in Georgia, foster care, adoption wasn't germane, remember? Meaning one did not pertain to the other in Georgia. That is the reason that candidate Casey Cagle gave to Mike Williams over in the 9th District debate for why he would not let this kind of bill be attached in the Senate to the foster care bill. Let's see, where was I at? Placement that would require to put children in adoption or in foster care in situations that violate the agency's written religious or moral conviction policy. That's all we wanted in Georgia. If you are Catholic Charities, if you're a religious organization, and you have written religious or moral convictions or policies in place, It does not mean that the state says that, you know, John and Joe and Mary and Jane can't adopt a child. God forbid. Anyhow, it doesn't say it can't happen. It just says that these agencies, these faith-based organizations can say, look, here's a card, okay? Go down the street. Those are your people. You can't miss them. They got a rainbow flag out front, rainbow little walkway up there, little rainbow pinwheels at the, you know, you'll know who they are. You'll know when you get there. The governor said the law will not restrict the ability of the LGBT people for getting a child through adoption or foster care, but critics fiercely disagree. Oklahoma for Equality posted a video on Facebook which officials say are looking into legal actions. Okay, the ideal that bigotry trumps decency is really reprehensible. I am horribly disappointed in the governor, Fallon, tonight. Sharon Bishop Baldwin, vice president of the organization of directors, say in the video. Fallon, a Republican, okay, said neither adoption or foster by LGBT individuals or same-sex couples is not banned. It's not banned. Instead, the bill will help continue Oklahoma's successful placement of children with a broad array of loving families and basically maintain the status quo by setting forth a status protections which have successfully worked for the best interest of Oklahoma children. Okay? That bill was in Georgia. That bill was set up in Georgia. It didn't make it. I'm just saying, folks. Just saying, okay? I wanted to do that one, Amanda, because that one bothers me really bad. Okay, Amanda, what do you have this morning?
I'm going to trail off of that. Like I said earlier, what we were talking about earlier, really, with Brian Kemp and Casey Cagle starting to make, you know, explosive advertisements and getting ready for crunch time next Tuesday. Brian Kemp is hosting his election night victory party in Athens at the Holiday Inn. Chilling at the Holiday Inn. So, if I'm scrolling through his page, and same thing with Casey Cagle. It's guns, guns, guns right now. But I want to see one of them make another explosive ad. And you know what I want it to be?
No, what would you like it to be, Amanda?
Designated bathrooms.
What?
Designated bathrooms. Right now, you can go as a male in specific stores into a women's bathroom and vice versa. Okay, so on the way to the beach, I guess that.
Hold on. I'm with you, but every once in a while I got to regroup from one of your damn stories. Now go ahead. Go ahead. You're on the way to the beach.
All right, I'm on the way to the beach, and I always stop in Eufaula, or in Dothan, Alabama. And I had to stop a couple of times on my way in and on my way back.
Now that's Eufaula. Is that where them whippoorwill trees hang over the road all the way down through? Isn't that absolutely beautiful?
Yeah, that's where all the Spanish moths start. And all the alligators. Well, I always stop at one of those Liberty gas stations that have the alligators. Well, they have signs up on their bathrooms that if opposite gender is, I forgot the wording, but if opposite gender is found in this bathroom, you will be escorted off the property. And I saw that, and I was like, huh, they must have a lot of Georgia weirdos coming in here and having men going in the women's bathrooms or women going in the men's bathrooms. And same thing, when I stopped on the way back in, I stopped in Dothan, same thing. And I will say, not too long ago, I was in Target, and I usually use the family restroom, and that is a designated area for, I guess, you know, transgender, or if you identify with an opposite gender, where they go to use the bathroom specifically. But there was a man in with me and my son in the women's bathroom, and how intimidating that is. It's just not, it does not feel safe. and I'd like to see something else explosive happen with that.
Okay. All right. Well, as anything else?
I do.
Could you take Brian Kemp? He probably is thinking to himself, could you please take me off of all of...
What does this have to do with my victory party?
Yeah, the Amanda, page 12.
Okay. So I also have Green Beret Tim Kennedy gets waterboarded in defense of CIA nominee.
Green Beret who?
And I'm going to play that real quick.
All right, go ahead.
But just the whole, because it was like a tech Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. Just the whole the geeks win type.
What's the point?
So he's defending Gina Haspel. They go on for 45 minutes and waterboard each other to show that this technique is not torture. Okay,
Gina Haspel, put her picture up. We need to get her confirmed. Joseph Donnelly of Indiana is going to vote for Gina Haspel. Joe Manchin of West Virginia is going to vote for Gina Haspel. Meghan McCain is still waiting for a public apology about somebody saying something about her daddy. And John McCain is still... Is he speaking from the grave, headed to the grave? Are they digging his grave? Where the hell's he at right now? I mean, you know, I'm so tired of these people. You know, John McCain. Why are we still waiting now? I'm sorry that John McCain has brain cancer, and I'm sorry that John McCain is days away from death. I'm so sorry about that, but you know,
we were talking about that over the weekend. Can you imagine being the reporter that's going in and out of his hospice and reporting? Like, him saying that he doesn't want Trump at his funeral and all these things he's saying about Gina
Haspel.
Why is okay, this is horrible too. I mean, he has brain cancer and, I feel for his family. But at the same time, he's dying of brain cancer. Why are we broadcasting every single thing that's coming out of his mouth right now?
I know, and they're on The View today waiting for Meghan McCain, patiently waiting for an apology from the Trump administration. Now, Sarah Huckabee Sanders continues to they can't take her. And so, who is the John Acosta? Is that his name on CNN? Is that the reporter that just whines and cries to her?
Jim Acosta.
Huh?
Jim Acosta. It's Jim.
Jim Acosta, right? And so they asked her in an interview. Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, "How do you put up with that? Like, over and over?" And she says, "Well, I've got little children, and they keep asking why. And when I give them an answer, they keep asking why. So it's perfect training." But here is Nicole Wallace. Okay, we don't have time to go into Nicole Wallace. I got some other things. Here's Nicole Wallace, MSNBC. She is introduced as, I think, a Romney or a Bush. A Mitt Romney spokesperson for Mitt Romney, worked for George W. Bush, okay, and you can understand why they went over to MSNBC. But she said, in the only video I could find, she actually was talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. This is truly how they feel. They lie and say they don't. But she's put out an apology for this. Can you play the Twitter video? Can you pull that up? Did you have that ready, or is that a problem?
Kristen Welker, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck? Why can't she just say, if a staffer said that, we're going to get to the bottom of it, and she'll be fired?
Well, I think a lot of people were surprised, Nicole, because there was an anticipation that she would have something to say. There have now been so many reports, including ours, confirming the account. Reporters, including myself, who've spoken to people who heard Kelly Sadler make these remarks. And so I think there was an anticipation that the White House would at least have comments similar to at least the statement that they put out overnight when they praised John McCain. Instead, Sarah Sanders sort of took a step back from that and said she wasn't going to comment on this situation at all. And so you saw the attempts there to sort of try to get at it from a much much broader perspective. And then to try to nail down the facts of what actually happened, I asked her repeatedly if our sources are lying to us. She ignored that question outright. So it is a very striking tactic that the White House is taking. They clearly are hoping this will help to turn the page, will help it to go away. But, Nicole, as you've been discussing, it does shine a light on the tone and the culture within this White House, within Washington right now, and within our politics more broadly, I think.
Okay, this is all over. This is all over. Someone within the White House said, what'd they say? John McCain is dying anyway. Why do we care what he thinks? He's dying anyway or something. I forget the comment that was supposedly made. This is the kind of time that they are spending on this. Now, what did Nicole Wallace say? How could you not help but just to want to wring her neck? Just go up there and wring her neck. That's how they really feel. That's how dangerous these people are and how hateful they are. Okay, I got a couple more things before I go. I don't have time for a break, so I better go through it. Number one, you know, Amanda, before we close, I didn't want to forget, you know, I'm sporting the official scent for May in Georgia. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
I have it. I'm wearing and oozing the official scent for the state of Georgia in May. What is it?
What would that be?
Vidalia onion.
Oh God.
I've tried to shower it off. It won't happen. It won't go away. I'm going to tell you, my friend Bill Craig over at North Georgia Diamond, Bill Craig over at North Georgia Diamond has every year for the Rotary, they sell 25 pounds of Vidalia onions, and I never miss. I have a 25, well, I think I have a 16-pound box now, but I bought a 25-pound box. No exaggeration, I probably ate 4. How gross is this to you? I probably ate 4 complete full Vidalia onions this weekend myself.
That is very gross to me.
Is it?
It is.
How?
I can only eat onion rings, but other than that, I do not like onions.
Do you know what I do is I take a Vidalia onion this big and I cut the top flat and the bottom flat, and then I put a V core in the top, like it will hold something, just core a little bit there. And then you gotta put butter in there. You fill that full of butter, and you put a bouillon cube, a beef bouillon cube, fill it full of butter, and then put it in the microwave for 7 minutes. Then get you a steak knife. You like that?
No.
I'm sorry, folks. Hey, I can't help it. I have the aroma, the official Georgia aroma in May, Vidalia onion. I brush my teeth. Stay
out of the production room.
Huh?
Stay out of the production room.
Can't help it. No. Coming out of oozing out of my pores. Okay, a couple things here before we close. We got now the, I've read some articles. I don't have time to go through them all. I'd like for you to go through Zero Hedge. What is one thing that cannot leave Illinois? There's a mass exodus on the highways, but what is the one thing that cannot leave Illinois? You need to take a time and Google it. It's the property. The property can't leave. That's right. So who are they going to reach in and grab another $2,500 a year from a house that appraises for $250,000? The homeowner. What about if the house appraises for $1 million? It's another $10,000 a year. Property tax. Property tax. Taking your property. Property tax. You look it up. Illinois' answer. The Chicago Fed says the answer to possibly Illinois and our pension problems, unfunded pensions, maybe the property tax should go up a little. Watch and see. Another article, I don't have time to go into great detail. Europe buying Europe keeps buying Iran oil, but banks may hinder the trade. Wow, where did you just hear that? In the days following the U.S. withdrawal from Iran nuclear deal, Iran's European customers continue to buy Iranian oil and are in no immediate rush to replace volumes, but some refiners and traders have flagged the financing issues as having a potential stop to crude trade with Iran. Dark banks. Yes. How will you trade the money around when America puts a halt on it? How will you start working through all the dark banks? So Barack Obama gave you the wide opening. Don't believe anything about the Iranian nuclear deal. It was set up for China. It was set up for China and the European countries, with Russia included, to start funneling and start flowing that dirty oil out and start doing it through banks, and boom, nothing to do with protecting Israel from a nuclear weapon. In the following days, the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear war deal, Iranian European customers continue to buy oil and have no immediate rush to replace volumes. But some refiners and trades are flagged. Financing issues have potentially to stop crude in Iran. Okay, after the U.S. walked out of the Iranian deal, the U.S. will be targeting Iran's crude oil sales, as sanctions previously lifted under the deal will reimpose following a 180-day period. The U.S. Treasury. See, the U.S. Treasury is already on this. European buyers are not immediately rushed to replace the Iranian supplies due to the wind-down period, with sanctions expected to kick in November. All buyers report they are compiling and will compile any such sanctions imposed on Iranian trade, and some of them expect that banking issues will arise from sanctions, such as the availability of trade finance. I tell you what, we're good here, man. I'm trying to tell you. Do not listen to the negative news network, the lying no good news network that's going to tell you how bad this is pulling out of the deal, how this is bad for Israel, how this is bad for the region. No, it's not. It's bad for the Europeans buying dirty oil that will not have a way to finance it through banks in 180 days. When you continue to hear, we're going against our allies. No, we're not. The truth of what's got them upset is not going to be able to buy their dirty oil. I don't have any more time. I will tell you an important date you want to keep up with. That is May 18th. What is May 18th? May 18th is the day that Judge Ellis said that the Mueller investigative team there, the legal team, has to come back with an unredacted memo of the full scope, the unfettered power that Mueller has, that has to come back May 18th. Judge Ellis of the Washington up there at by Washington, D.C., North Virginia U.S. District Court, said that May 18th, they have to come back with the unredacted scope that Rod Rosenstein gave Mueller, so he can look and see why they want to go after Paul Manafort all the way back from 2005. Because this is the judge that said, man, you just want to, come on, man. Come on, man. You're just looking for anything to keep this going. Come on, man. You're just looking for anything to impeach the President of the United States. I'm your host, BKP. It's 9:55. We're going to be back tomorrow morning. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Georgia House 8th District Representative debate right here in the studio. Mickey Cummings and Matthew Gutler, Republican candidates up in the 8th District, will be right here. That debate will be live at 9 a.m. Also, right after these messages, you stay tuned. The only live online new sports show, Instant Replay with Dave Gardner. Don't forget, 706-889-9700. You want to tell Dave anything on the show, his producer over here, Amanda, will be watching that number. You want to send him a message about something during the show, they'll be watching that number because it is a live broadcast. I'm your host, BKP. Take us out. Dave Gardner next with Instant Replay.